like right now, people are still demonizing me because of my belief that the earth is not a spinning ball and that it's a plane. Well, a lot of quote unquote Christians are saying, that I'm some sort of operative out of Israel to discredit. The Bible says the earth is a plane. It's not a spinning ball. That being said, so when Christians say that I'm trying to discredit Christianity, there's several parts of the Bible that refer to the corners of the earth, or to rise up and look out at all the nations, or God above, waters above, the firmament. It's endless. But someone recently in a comment thread said that I'm crazy because it goes against all observable reality. Okay, they don't know what the word observable means, because observable is what you can see, hear, touch, smell, all your senses. Our observable reality is not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. I'm here in peace. Our observable reality shows there's no curve of the earth. 0 construction projects that are long, like no bridges have any factoring whatsoever of 8 inches per mile squared. There's some bridges that are 30 miles long. How much did they factor in the curve? Zip. All airplanes, all their maps, all their tools function as if it is a flat plane. The only evidence they have that it's a spinning ball is because of experts and just math no one can understand, and something called the Coriolis effect, which means snipers have to factor in the spin of the earth. If you ever talk to a sniper or do any sniper shooting yourself, you realize that's also a lie. So our entire observable reality, every thought experiment we have, like for example, a lighthouse. How would a lighthouse shine light 40 miles away with 8 inches per mile squared? It would be completely out of view on a ball. Stuff like that. And then people say, well, the light curves, and they can't explain why it curves. So then you keep thinking, well, how does an atmosphere exist next to deep space, which allegedly is a vacuum? It can't. So stuff like that. When someone says that goes against all observable reality, you're using the opposite of the word observable. And I don't talk about flat earth that much because I know it rattles too many people's cages. You can start with the Big Bang being absurd. Something doesn't come from nothing. Nothing comes from nothing. It's so absurd that now that you're seeing your cities being looted and burned because of Black Floyd, and people are wearing ball gags and masks because of a virus that's killed anyone ever knows, maybe it's time to start thinking about what history actually was. And then you look at the Titanic, you look at World War I. Do you think it was actually started because people got so angry about the Archduke Ferdinand in Serbia? No. Do you think that millions and millions and millions of people gave up their sons to be murdered in the Somme, Verdun, places so horrifying, it's literally hell on earth, because one minor aristocrat was killed by Princip the Black Hand in the Balkans? Do you believe that? Of course not. Okay? So then you get into the nuclear bomb. The nuclear bomb. Why would anyone lie about the nuclear bomb? Global control. Even the word global, but I don't mind using that word because that's how they see the world. Global control, it's like when two men are facing off each other and they both say that they have a gun underneath the table. It doesn't matter if they have a gun or not. Nuclear physicists that are under the radar, that don't want to be named, will tell you that it's physically impossible to have that type of reaction. You can show that Nagasaki, Hiroshima were not nuclear explosions. That was reported as fire bombings, very big bombs, very, very big bombs. There was no fallout, no radiation. Chernobyl is a thriving ecology there. The nature has not only never been affected, there is no radiation. Some families stayed, nothing happened. It's all a lie. It's an endless lie. Now, life is not an endless lie. Life is beautiful. The good news is you are not made by a big bang on a spinning ball in the emptiness of deep space. You are made by God in love on a flat, stable plane that is awesome. And as you see the clouds slowly pass by, not at 1,000 miles an hour, we didn't drive a dune buggy on the moon. You realize that the world is much, much better than you can possibly imagine, and that you have to re-empower yourself in your life by speaking and thinking truth, by getting to know your neighbors, by trying to get your sin under control, and that's it. And so from this point, and the truth community can be very jarring, it can be very aggressive, it can be fear-mongering, just like CNN, just like all of that. And my advice to you is don't go down too many the best thing to do is to go down the rabbit hole and then come back up and say, wow, that was crazy down there. Man, I'm so glad that this is here. Don't live in the rabbit hole. Go down, look around, come back up. Admitting that the world isn't a spinning ball is very traumatic for me. I went through a very hard time. I was even drinking at the time. It was very intense. Okay, observable reality says this is not spinning. Observable reality says every single thought you can come up with or test will tell you it isn't spinning. Every single thing. Lighthouses, curvature tests, everything. The nature of an ellipse, how it changes speed, everything. The way the moon looks. And guess what? It doesn't contradict Christianity at all to say what I'm saying. In fact, the Bible says the moon is a lesser light. It does not say it's a spinning ball in an infinite darkness. It says God above. On a sphere, there is no above or below. It's relative. That's the theory of relativity. You go into looking at Einstein, you realize who he really was. He was an actor on the world stage to bring in relativity because scientists were actually proving that this was not a spinning ball, that this was a flat plane. The something morally experiment right before Einstein proved it without question. And the more you're in this world of observable reality, what have you experienced? You know, is your thoughts on the Holocaust from Steven Spielberg movies? Be honest with yourself. Did you experience it? Is there real evidence? You know, is your experience with NASA have to do with your childhood? Does your experience with dinosaurs have to do with Steven Spielberg movies? Ask yourself these things. Michelson Morley, right before Einstein, proved beyond a shadow of a scientific doubt that there is no movement on this plane. Everything you can think of. How does a bridge factor in the curve? They don't. Look at the blueprints. Think about how does a plane factor in the curve? It doesn't. All the dials and instruments are all based on a flat, non-moving plane. All of it. How does a pressurized atmosphere exist next to infinite vacuum? It can't. And then the more you look into this, the more you're like, oh, what's the only evidence that we have that this is a spinning ball? Shame, NASA, and the Coriolis effect. That's it. And people just saying, how dare you, you're stupid, you're stupid. People call me an Israeli shill trying to discredit the truth and Christian movement in America because I actually follow what the Bible says about the nature of the earth. At no point in the Bible does it reference a spinning ball. Every single part of it, it couldn't exist unless there was God above and we are below. When the devil brings up Jesus and shows him all the nations of the earth, can that happen on a ball? When there's waters above, can that happen on a ball? Where's above? Is Australia not above? Is there different above? The firmament, hard, fast barrier, that is necessary if there is waters above. All of it, guys. It does not contradict the Bible at all. To say I'm a shill trying to discredit Christianity when the moon is said as a lesser light, a luminary, not a ball that mysteriously spins at the exact same speed as the earth so that you only see one side with a shadow on it that no one can explain. The phases of the moon, no one can explain why it does that based on mass media. This is what you'll run into in the truth movement. And what I suggest is you maintain your relationship with reality, what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, what you taste. And the more you uncover, the more you know you are actually way more special than you could have possibly imagined. You are not a mistake, an astrological mistake after nothing came from something, or something came from nothing, from a little tiny bang. That the eyeball did not miraculously evolve based on sexual selection. It's not remotely possible. That wings sprouted out of the backs of bacteria. You can't observe evolution. Never been done. Even with bacteria, with a life expectancy of a half a second, you can see like a million generations, and it will never become something that it wasn't when it was born. Never once, can't be observed. You can't observe evolution. You can't observe the whole concept of mutation becoming something. It's never been observed, can't be tested, nada. Same with spinning ball, same with Big Bang, same with all of it. And you will be called names. You will be called racist because you don't want to degrade the black man and say it's not your fault you raped and murdered somebody, it's because of your skin. That's how you put someone in a little tiny box for the rest of their life. And when you see the truth, you will see it. And that's the two roads. You either accept it and accept what comes with it, and then you are free. You are free to be you, to worship, to crush, to be fruitful and multiply, or you will become a meat puppet, lying on your tummy, waiting for a random stranger to approve of you so that you can feel any joy in your life. Any.